the Oracle to back you up and help you, but versus Shadow Demon, he kind of nullifies a lot of that. You get this ulti on this DP, you can't use yourself, you can't actually, you can get false promised, but the heals aren't going to be really coming out so much. You can at least benefit from your Spirit Siphon, but you purge off Urn, you purge off Healing Salve, you purge off pretty much everything if that's the focus fire, which that's probably what they're going to do.
So I guess then for Vici Gaming, you're looking to Fade to just get on top of the Shadow Demon at the start of the fights. He has some sort of disable's got to be there to stop that Demonic Purge getting off onto the Death Prophet.
I mean, for sure, but at the same time, I feel like they don't really have the heroes to get on top of the Shadow Demon, like how the fight is going to go. Like PL is going to go on Death Prophet and they'll just force out the false promise and then SD purges him, you know, DP just dies, so...
We'll see if it plays out as favorably for VP as it, you guys are sort of saying it should do with those last few picks in mind.
I mean, a lot of the game is going to come down to this bottom lane too, like how good of a game the Tide is going to have, because he's actually really important in this game to just stop their spells generally with the Ravage, and like at the moment it feels like he's not really going to have a good time on this bottom lane. I feel like they're going to try lane them with the Morphling, and usually Morphling is like a hard lane counter to these melee heroes, so...
Yeah, for sure, starting down here. We'll see how much Pasha can get out of it. We'll start off with Roger at his side.
Just starting with Gush too, level 1.
Yeah, they're looking to kill the heroes because just straight up trading farm is not good for them.
They're going to see the play here with the tri-lane. Pasha will be able to block off the roll forward from Fade, but Roger's just getting beaten down in the trees. That's going to be first blood for Paparazzi. They get the kill. Now they'll look towards Pasha, beating down this Tide. He's trying his best to run away. There's going to be a roll forward available for Fade in a few seconds. They'll get the root connection as well, and it's both kills going to Paparazzi. I mean, you said it was going to be a hard time for VP down there, and it's shown straight away with those 2 kills going to the Morphling.
Great Fortune's end usage on his ally. He wasn't in range to actually cast on the Tide.
Yeah, for sure. This is a brutal lane. Oracle, Earthspirit, Morphling. You don't want any part of this with Tide Armor, actually.
Well, straight up top, Solo was chasing down, yeah, and getting those stacks of poison built up. But Fade's going to be there to put Solo off from chasing for more.
They want to keep that creep wave to be able to pull behind the tower.
Between the two of them, they should be able to get the most out of it. Solo, he's just only got a little bit of mana left. Just a couple of stick charges too. It's underneath the tower. They'll try and roll forward and get the connection onto Solo. Solo does have to be a little careful as they will chase him down. They have that slow from the Orb of Venom. Fade. Solo goes for the TP out. And of course, with the roll already used, nothing else to hold him back. So just being a bit of a nuisance down the Shadow Demon. It's making space, of course, for the PL in lane. Ramses, you know, with that sort of play coming out from the SD, he's getting all the space in the world up top. They
were able to secure themselves to push the lane forward as well on Vici, and I believe they actually got that hard camp pull onto the 3 or so of the melee creeps. So they're going to deny a bit more from Pasha as well as Roger down here.
It's actually pretty interesting how this bottom line is going to pay out, because usually people want to pick this Rust against Morphling because it's a really hard nuke, like early levels, and he actually like has these instant disables against the Morphlings, the stats shift.
Up top, Ramses. He's going to get rolled upon. They got the level 2. Same to be said, you know, Ramses, he's got that point in the doppelganger, so easily able to dodge the follow-up magic missile from Yang. Still remaining at the top of the CS. The mid lane matchup at the moment going very even between the Razor and the DP. 12 for 3, 10 for 1. Down bottom, an attempt onto DY. Pasha and Roger trying to chase him down. Paparazzi, though, is starting to beat down on the Shaman. Great forward. It's another kill for Paparazzi. This bottom lane, it's turning into a bit of a disaster for VP.
Yeah, they're slowing him down a tiny little bit on last hits, but yeah, he's getting 3 kills out of this already so early on. This help from the Oracle, and that's with Fade. He left that bottom lane after he secured those kills, so now he's able to help Yang. It's like this double benefit from this Earth Spirit already.
For sure, you never want to see Paparazzi killing spree at 3 minutes. You know? That's one of the things you really want to avoid in the game.
Oh, doesn't get the shackles actually.
Couldn't quite get the reach. Has to be careful. They do have obviously that point in the strike as well on the Morphling to be able to help out DY if he does get shackled.
They are, I mean, like they're slowing down the Morph a little bit in comparison to that PL. I mean, Ramses is having absolute free farm, but he doesn't have 3 kills to his name.
We'll see on the mid. No one is going to go through the attempt forward, or he's got backup by his side, and with that in mind, Fade, he's going to roll forward. No one will be forced to head down the river.
Fade's just trying to turn up everywhere, it seems.
Yeah, he's making it very hard for no one to really get back to the mid lane for now. He's going to have to spend a bit of time walking around the long way. It's going to give that opening for the creep wave favorite to be there in the hands of Ori.
A lot of times these mid lane rotations, they don't really matter. Like the mid lane actually is shifted more to 1v1 lanes, because like it's really hard to get at the really like meaning edge on the mid lane, because like all players are so good nowadays. They just parry Sauls, Mangos all the time. Like they stay on the lane. Like you don't really get to bully these heroes out of the lane. So
really is just a regen war.
Pretty much, yeah.
Down bottom, I mean, Pasha, even though this has sort of been a bit of a lane of death for VP, Pasha's still farming well on the Tide. He's not being slowed down at all in that account, and we are going to see Roger starting to leave the lane, but Fade hiding in the trees. He's got the setup. They'll bring Paparazzi across. It's going to be another kill. This time DY will get the last touch, but still more action that Paparazzi is just consistently involved in.
And that was just the BM roll, right? So, no, that's because I can.
Just so much going the way of Vici Gaming down here. Overall, though, the net worth very even. Fade and TY, they head over to try and contest the runes, but with no one, Pasha and Roger standing there, they'll have the number advantage. They won't be able to take that away from Vici Gaming. In fact, Vici Gaming, they're going to turn. They'll zip forward onto Roger. Roger gets taken down again.
This bottom lane, already 5 kills between the two of them, DY as well as Paparazzi.
Yeah, Roger definitely not having the best game of his life. 0-4 already, you know.
No one is just straight up jungling. He's actually just left that mid lane for the last, what, minute and a half or so.
This you actually see nowadays, like some mid laners are so efficient junglers that it's just actually just more worth to just go to the jungle. Funnily enough, usually like lane creeps get buffed every patch, and like lane creeps give you so much, but these heroes is a Razor with the new passive just cleaving through creeps like non-stop.
Has to watch out though, or he actually skills the exorcism right away at 6, so he wants to put pressure on.
Yeah, this is really interesting timing. It's the 5-minute catapult wave, so actually these catapults usually just really pressure the towers hardcore. They also save the cliff. I assume they're gonna cliff their creeps too here.
I see Fade.
Put some extra pressure. It seems like VP is just giving up this tower.
Yeah, just completely. I mean, no one just jungling the entire time, doesn't have any points inside that plasma field to try to help him. Yeah, that's a
very early.
Within 1 minute of the catapult coming in, they're able to clear it out.
That is actually the dream for VG Gaming. Like the mid tower is the most important tower in this game, and they just get it for free like that. It's like Christmas.
Ramses. The river Fade is there, but yeah, the fact that both this bottom lane and middle lane are going so well, still, it's definitely the fact that VP's cores are all still farming very nicely. Ramses is top CS, 41 and 11 on this safe lane PL. They are going to be able to, you know, get those items still online. That's going to allow them in the mid game to fight against the Vici Gaming push. But definitely the fact that the momentum is already being shown for Vici Gaming, you're going to see the repercussions of that in the following sort of 10 minutes of play.
Yeah, seems like a lot more of a passive approach coming out from VP just because that situation that happened bottom. And now Roger again
in this middle lane. They'll be able to run him down. He's stuck in the trees. That's going to be another death on the Shaman. 0-5-0 in these 7 minutes. Roger having a rough game after having so many times on this main stage blown us away with his performances. As this is not the early game for him. Bottom as well. Pasha just chased out. They're getting killed off to get a Paparazzi, and he's 3-0-3 on the safe lane more for just 7 minutes in.
That's mode anime for you.
It is. Paparazzi's come here to win, and it really looks like on the bottom lane they're sort of handing it to the Morphling. As you said, they had these unfavorable, this unfavorable lane situation, VP, where they were going to have a tough lane down bottom. I mean, looking at the heroes they had, was there any way they could have laned it any better, or was one of their lanes always going to go this badly? I
mean, that's like a nature of Tide, right? You're not that strong side laner, but later on you actually just play on the Ravage and you look to turn some fights like in the mid game that like is going to turn the tide for you. So, I mean, Tide is not known for lane dominating.
I see what you did there. Turn the tide for you.
Another catch just rolling in.
Yes.
I mean, this bottom lane has just become an area of map where it's not safe for VP to be. Anybody that shows will just get dove upon. They're pushing in. It's 8 minutes in. Vici Gaming starting to put a lot of damage onto this tier 1 tower.
I think we're seeing why they 5-man tipped Pasha at the start of the game. Just wanted to
they knew.
Put the pressure on already.
And so far, it's certainly working. Solo's trying to slow it down a little bit with the poison spam.
They're going to get this tower as well now, too. With Yang showing up, they've got ways to even threaten kills if anybody does show up. And yeah, another free tower. Free tier 1, 8 minutes in.
I mean, there's no real heroes that VP can put down there to slow that sort of play down right at the moment.
Yeah, they don't really have outpush right now.
Yeah, it's
really the Razor opted to go skill up the passive instead of the plasma field, though, so they can't really clear the creeps. And if you can't clear the creeps, they just kill your towers.
Yeah, they look like they're just playing their own farming game.
I mean, at the same time, they're actually not doing that bad because like all the kills that they got were from the support Roger all the time, so it was the lowest net worth. Didn't that give that much gold for them? And Tide died a couple times and Solo died, but the two important cores, the PL and the Razor, didn't really die, so they at least have that going for them.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely shown in this sort of overall difference. Just being to just be 1k ahead, especially when you've taken 2 towers, it just shows how well VP is sort of finding resources elsewhere. They don't need the kills, they're just focusing on the farm game.
They're all jungling.
Yeah, I mean, solo. I see this every game. Solo plays his SD. This is okay team. Just like, let me farm these jungle creeps, these golems. They're my buddies.
And they're getting away with this. Sure, they've lost the early towers. The real test is going to be when Vici Gaming start to push for tier 2, start to take away some of the control of VP's map up top. Which already, as you can see, Paparazzi is relocated up to the top as the Morph and will start to push in there. That's going to be his new area of the map that he wants to play in. Ramses
got the silence.
Found out silence. They'll move in. The follow-up silence from Ori. Have they got the burst to kill him before the silence ends? They don't. He'll dop, although he's surely still in trouble. He's trying to go for the illusion bait, but they'll clear out all the illusions and they'll clear out Ramses as well. Vici Gaming, that's the big kills. Taking Ramses out of the map. Down bottom, Yang will be found here. Pasha, Solo, and Roger will chase down this Vengeful Spirit, and this should be VP getting their first kill in the game here as Yang all alone burst down. VP finally get themselves a kill on the scoreboard.
But it's a Venge that's not worth a whole lot, and they lost their PL, and now they're going to probably lose their tier 1 if they can't react, which I don't know if... I don't think that Vici can actually force this one too hard here. They do have 4 heroes though.
And they have got Exorcism ready to go. Yeah. I mean, to the point where they can look for like a tier 1 plus maybe pressure onto a tier 2 tower if they feel strong enough.
They do have the catapult waves now, so I think they're looking forward to get this tier 1 for free and then pressure the tier 2 with the Exorcism after.
And he's almost, I mean, he's got Atos now already on Ori too.
I mean, that's the new trend. Like you go with int heroes, agile heroes on mid lane, and you just build Atos on them. Works every time.
It's looking pretty good so far for Vici Gaming in that respect. Absolutely set around here. Ramses is the only one really around, and of course this PL still not battle ready for quite some time. Has to be careful how he approaches.
Yeah, they're just setting the pace completely. Just keep VP on the back foot, and VP's just continuing to try to just farm. They get bottom tower at least with Roger using the Serpent Wards. But yeah, this top Vici's all set up here. They're actually kind of asking for a fight here if VP doesn't want to come because they have that Exorcism and that Atos. VP is not ready.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Ramses, unlucky there with the doppel. They've got the rod. Ori knows which one's the correct one, but will not have any further follow-up. Fade, not seemingly wanting to go and try and dive for that.
It's actually interesting he didn't go for it. I felt like he was actually just dead right there. So I think he was doubting himself. There's no way this is the real PL, right?
A bit of hesitation. I mean, it must have been for that reason because, yeah, Fade could definitely have hit the follow-up stun, but...
They're still asserting that dominance, and Paparazzi just... How much building damage does he have already? Like 4,000 on this Morphling?
I mean, that's the dream. You get to hit towers and nobody's contesting you, know?
Yeah. And then as soon as anyone TPs, like VP has vision of this. They know they have to back up.
Paparazzi's in. He'll be able to turn it to Solo, throw it on every single spell that Solo had to his repertoire. And it's going to be another kill for Vici Gaming as Solo will be nuked down by DY's Purifying Flames. Vici Gaming will finish off the tier 2 tower top as this 12-minute in game continues to just have the whole map being shut down by Vici Gaming. They're taking over here of VP's dire half.
This is looking a little bit like what happened at the Minor in the couple games that they won in the finals. It just was like these steamrolling first 12 minutes, and then they have just these overwhelming items over the opposing team.
I feel like VP is not even willing to fight this.
Yeah. No, they're still focusing on hitting the creeps and not responding.
They're just giving up every tower. I feel like they don't feel strong right now. So I think they want to hit the first items on. I think tight Blink Dagger is going to be one of the biggest timings and Diffuse and PL, and I think only after that they really want to take team fights.
At the moment, there seems to be no intention to do so. But and as we, it is definitely worth noting that it's still just a 2k difference. It's not the biggest of gold differences. Down bottom, though, this could make it a little bigger as they find no one and shut him down with the Atos. Taking that Razor off the map. Vici Gaming, they'll now move down to the bottom and they'll go for another tier 2 push almost certainly pretty soon as they have Exorcism still.
Bit low on mana, but...
Yeah, I mean, these are the kills you can't really afford giving. Like one of your highest level heroes just dies like that and gives so much EXP to the enemy team. And at this point of the game, EXP actually matters more than the actual gold on the heroes.
And he's going to be a Lincoln Sphere already finished up for the Morph, so he's going to be able to block at least that instant hack.
Amazing timing, actually.
Yeah. Treads double Wraith as well as that.
I mean, he's just had a flawless opening to the game, Paparazzi.
He's just walking at lanes. Oh, look at that.
That is a juicy stack.
Would you exorcism for that?
Definitely. I mean, it was my death prophet, you know, I will be living in the jungle. Kura just be asking me, when are we pushing towers, guys?
It's looking problematic for VP. They're still, like you said, they're trying to get that item before they try to make that move. The double timing if they get the blink as well as that defusal at the same time. I think also the Euls will probably come at a similar moment for the Razor.
We'll see up top. They do get the tier 1 tower, but Pasha will be left behind. Fade finding him in the trees. This Tide will be left as Vici Gaming, Ori just getting kill after kill. None of these cores on Vici Gaming ever feeling under any sort of pressure, as they're just not dying. VP, only that 1 kill to their name this game, 15 minutes in. We'll see the runes come up. We'll see if Vici Gaming are able to take control of them. But it looks like bottom lane, VP should be able to grab the 2.
Look, I mean, again, look, they're jungling. Look. Shadow Shaman, we see Roger, he's just jungling after his Serpent Wards are down, trying to clear the stack out for himself. Solo is doing the same thing, just running around collecting bounties. It's just them trying to stay even with this economy. They're actually doing okay, and even the experience too isn't really that.
The experience is not the problem, because like VP is actually just maximizing the map, so they actually get more EXP, because VG is actually running around a lot. The DP is a little bit under level. What they really want to do on VG's side is to get the level 2 exorcism on DP and just go Roche right away, get the Aegis on Morphling, and they could play the game whatever they wish to. You know, they can do anything with Aegis on Morphling.
They can do it so fast too. They have this medallion and max wave of terror. It looks like they're actually going to go for it.
Yeah, they actually want to do it right now.
Not even with exorcism, it seems. They just have the Death Prophet showing top.
I mean, it just feels good that you have the exorcism, so it dies fast, so VP doesn't get to push all the lanes, so you're not...
Find no one again.
They cancel the TP, no one's unable to get out in time. That Rod of Ados is there, holding him back, as they'll get the Razor.
I mean, where is the Russian spirit? Why are they not fighting back? They're just letting, you know, they're just letting get themselves smacked down all the time by VG, you know, like, fight them back at least.
So many of these games that I've seen where even if it's like a small gold lead, when a team is playing like this passive, it just ends up being like, yeah, the other team just steamrolls over them, even if it isn't really that much of that lead.
I mean, at the same time, I've seen a lot of games that happen like this, like, you know, the other team is on the driving seat, right? So they lose one fight and suddenly the game just turns around completely. Like, it takes a complete U-turn.
Because now maybe they get a little overconfident, right? They've got this Aegis, they step a little bit too far, and that's where VP can come back. When
I mean, if you think about it, it's 13-1, you know? It's like suddenly you get 4 kills, and it's like, what happened, guys? You know? Are we losing now?
Yeah, those kills can be very deceiving at the top.
Yeah. And I've just been seeing VP like this whole time. They haven't been placing too many aggressive wards. They now have this bottom ward, but for the most part, I've just been seeing Solo placing him inside of his jungle.
As we see, sure, the lead is there, but it really is only very small.
Experience is still leading VP.
And, you know, Gaben knows. He knows this is a close one. Only 56 to 44 at the moment between these teams. Even though those towers, you know, have been taken, you know, mainly by Vici Gaming in those first 15 minutes of play. They have the Roshan, but still VP, they farm on. They continue to hit the neutrals, and it's keeping them very, very close to being level with that at the farm of Vici Gaming as a whole.
Who actually ended up getting that Ancient stack?
I don't know. I think Tide farmed.
I think Tide did
pretty
too,
sure,
right?
yeah, because New Angus Math is really efficient at farming Ancients.
We have Vici Gaming again. See if they can get another tier 2 tower in here, as Paparazzi will start to move down mid.
It doesn't really look like VP wants to fight this one still either. They went for the Manta on the PL, so he's just looking to increase his farm even more. Maybe once he has the defusal after the Manta, that's when they look for that timing fight, but right now...
Solo, we'll get vision with the wave of terror. They'll zip in, they'll get the silence down upon him. He'll try and run away, but the slow's there from the rock. Another kill for Paparazzi.
Man, playing 5 position in this type of game must be so sad. You just see your car farming the hard camp right next to you.
You get so under level too, because there's no source, like, biggest source for supports of like levels and gold is like, it's team fights actually, but there's 0 team fights happening. 80 minutes into the game is... it's a really weird game.
Yeah, it definitely is. I like the itemization coming out from Ori here. Recognizing his boots of travel, he just wants to be able to be with his team. He can split push constantly, and then he's not going for any type of Euls or anything. Just straight BKB, so he can protect himself, not having to worry about the PL, the mana burn, as well as the SD purge. And yeah, Ravage.
I mean, you know, looking at the net worth, Yang is sort of the one core to start to fall behind on this Venge. I mean, is it expected for this hero to not be in a good place in farm, or is Yang just having a bit of a tough time, even though his team are the one getting the kills and the objectives?
I mean,
He's just running around a lot with them, right?
pretty much, yeah. I mean, usually this hero doesn't really farm that much, and he has like these travel bolts, death prophets, swiping all the creeps, and morphling. Obviously, if paparazzi comes to your lane, okay, you just give up the lane to the paparazzi guy. You know he's gonna carry you with this farm.
It seems like they also were prioritizing Fade's farm quite a bit here too. He's actually got arcane boots and a mech already on this Earth Spirit, level 11, almost level 12. So you see Yang's only 10. So yeah, they're giving Fade quite a lot here, just so we can have that early heal, that early extra sustain for the team.
I think he got the early kills too, so he kind of boosted his game to do this.
I mean, he's 1-0 and 11. He's involved in 12 of the 14
Almost
kills.
everything.
Fade made a lot happen at the start, being that gap closer that Vici Gaming needed to punish VP on that bottom lane. CTP's coming up top. They're going to see if they can hunt down any of VP. Look at the silence onto Roger. Fade's on top of him. We'll try for the TP out with the Atos for the roll forward. There's no escape for the Shaman. Another pick off here for Vici Gaming. Down upon him as well. Solo magic missile zip forward upon him by the way from Paparazzi. He'll turn into the Razor. He's got the static link as well. Moving in onto Pasha. Will be held back by the Yules. They'll send him up into the air. Still just constant carnage in favor of Vici Gaming. 16-1.
And it's scary too, because it is 2 heroes there. However, it's versus an Aegis, and Ori has boots of travel, so he used the TP scroll to go on that top side, so he can still join the fight back if VP overcommits there.
Ramses is now, he's sort of ready to respond, right? He has that Manta Diffusal. This is the point where the PL, suddenly he's quite a force in the team fight. If he can get in with the Doppel and doesn't get jumped upon by Vici Gaming's lineup, they can fight back around this PL VP now.
Yeah, Manta Diffusal, and he's got the 250 HP talent too.
Yeah, this is definitely VP's best timing. The second one is going to come with the Razor BKB, but that's a little bit far off still, like 2k gold, and it's going to take some time. Looks like they understand it too, like this is absolute best timing for them in this game.
Blink on Tide.
Yeah, a lot on Pasha to find that big jump to start the fight off. Now, if they can get a good initiation and a good team fight, they can overwhelm the lineup of Vici Gaming, and you'll suddenly start to see that net worth difference close very quickly if they can get the kills VP.
Look at DY, he knows something's up. He's hiding so far back, carrying a salve as well as that urn, prepared to use his ulti.
It's definitely fishy.
Paparazzi, the one to show at the front of the moment. He's got that Aegis.
This is going to be going down very soon. Right now, actually.
Even more to strength because he understands they might just jump him.
Smart plays. Playing around that time with Vici Gaming backing off. They know that is the peak point where VP would be very desperate to make some sort of a jump. Would have been the brilliant time for them to find an initiation, but they can't. VP cannot close the gap on Vici Gaming yet.
So now they just wait for their next timing, wait for that Razor BKB and try to make another one.
Pretty much. They couldn't really get anything done with this one, so I think the Razor BKB is actually a must-have for them to be able to win this fight. Because there's a problem, like your 2 position can actually run into the fight because he will just melt down instantly without BKB.
Especially now with the E-Blade being picked up too. Paparazzi's damage is through the roof. He already has so much physical, right? Because of the Avenge.
Yeah,
like whatever, he can go for this type of build.
I mean, imagine Razor running in without BKB. Oh, just like he's gone in 2 seconds. There's no Razor in the game.
About 1,000 gold more for no one to go, and he will have that. Fortunately, the entirety of that jungle has already been cleaned out by their side, so he's going to have to look elsewhere for that final bit of gold. VP, though, the rest of them will smoke up once again. Pasha ideally would try and find a fight. He has an arcane rune. Would be lovely to get a use of the Ravage underneath it. They'll move towards mid. Paparazzi, we say, hasn't got the Aegis, but still, he's got that constant backup. This Oracle always sat in position behind him, always ready to keep Paparazzi safe. So far, his game's been pretty easy. You know, they haven't had to go for any sort of defensive plays because VP haven't been jumping. But when they do, there's a lot of ways they can keep Paparazzi alive.
Yeah, Ymatsu said it's a bit of a weird game, right? Like
I mean, that is just an desperate smoke, right?
Yeah.
Like this smoke play can't really achieve anything. They're not showing on the map, so like Vici for sure doesn't fall for it. And it's like your Razor is not in even the smoke nor the PL. Like your 2 like most important heroes are just like farming at the same time. You want to smoke. Like what is this? You know?
Go. Smoke from Vici. They're leading with Ori straight in onto Solo. The silence, the root. Solo's in trouble. Can he get up to the high ground? He cannot. Paparazzi with the strike. Finishes off the Shadow Demon. See if Vici Gaming want to try and find anything more. The 2 side lanes are pretty far shoved back over on their half of the map, but they have the mid lane moving in. They'll pop the fortification to tank some of the tower hits, get Paparazzi up to the high ground. The quick few bursts, you can see how vulnerable the Razor can be. without that BKB being popped, as he's down to half health now and has to go back to base to refuel, giving all this space for Vici Gaming to just hit in onto the tower. They still have the exorcism. They're not needing to use it yet to do this damage. It's just the right clicks of Paparazzi that take the tier 3 away from VP incredibly easily.
That is good discipline to actually back off on the high ground, because I feel like if they would commit for the racks, like this is actually the best fight for Tide to use Ravage in, because he sees all the heroes on the high ground and he can really hit all 5 of them with this Ravage.
Yeah. No one still doesn't have his BKB though.
He's ever so close, just a few hundred gold away. Out to the side, Ramsey dodges the magic missile. He's going to turn back towards Yang. Ori's trying to lead in, has been hexed. The Serpent Wards are down. They're trapped for Ori. Yang's out of mana. They'll continue to chase him. Pasha getting rolled on control. Now a pop by the Ravage. Gets the 2 of them, but Ori, he got the BKB off. Ori still alive, somehow finally falls. They have the damage with the Serpent Wards. Yang gets nuked down as well. VP, they found 3. Can they get anything more? Fade rolling away. Ramsey's trying his best to chase no one. He's still got eyes on Paparazzi. He's on top of the Morphling. Paparazzi will pop him back with the Adaptive Strike, but they'll move in the Yule's control. Holding Fade in place. Ramses throws out the Spirit Lance, blocks off the Earth Spirit. VP, they'll find a 4. As only Paparazzi gets out. The patience of VP paying off. They get a fight started. They sort of bait Vici Gaming into reacting and trying to take a fight around that shrine area. And VP, they come out on top.
Ramsey's committed forward, and DY actually wasn't there for the fight. He was a bit zoned out, and then Ramsey's committed forward and actually didn't let him get in range to get that ulti off onto the Death Prophet.
Yeah, the biggest problem was the fight was for Vici that they actually split up in the fight, and PL loves this. You know, he sees the supports isolated on the map and he just gets them for free. He just kills them with Diffusal, and it's like easy fight from now on.
Yeah, because like neither of the ones could really go for the save, right? Because they do have the double save on the side of Vici, but he went on the Venge and then he went straight for the Oracle afterwards with his illusions.
Exactly. You need the cores to actually report like us. Okay, let me take myself back in here. Yeah, you need the cores to actually like protect the supports in these fights, because like if this PL just gets on top of the Oracle and Venge, there's a little too much they can do about it.
I mean, they tried everything too, right? The Earth Spirit popped the mech. Venge, I think, threw the Solar Crest on top of the Death Prophet too, but yeah, they just got way too split up inside of that fight. And that was the one place that VP actually had vision too. They have that little bit of that ward on the, not the high ground, not on the cliff there, but on a relative high ground.
I mean, the beauty of Dota, right? Like, VG is on the driver's seat for the whole game, and one team fight just happens, and suddenly VP is actually winning the game.
Just patience.
As Vici Gaming start to move out again with the 3 of them they have. And so that Exorcism to be used, I feel like we haven't really seen a lot of Exorcisms being used this game. I guess to be fair to Vici Gaming, they haven't needed them to take the objectives really. It's just been a bit of a right-click affair from Paparazzi's Morphling, who has now got a BKB, so he'll be able to feel a little more confident heading into the front lines, not having to worry about Pasha's Ravage coming out in response, and setting up for turnaround fights favoring VP.
This must be one of the highest neutrals last hits in a game in quite a long time. Bet like majority of those CS right there are neutral creeps on everybody. I mean, look how much everybody has last hits. Solo has 35, 93, 47. Like,
sometimes these high pressure games just end up in these farming fests, you know. Everybody just wants to take the first game slow, you know, and just farm up and, you know, see kind of how the grand final is gonna flow from there.
And now this PL is in such a good position. I mean, full heart finished up on top after that Magic Diffusal.
I'm really worried for Vici. Like, how are they gonna deal with this PL? Like,
yeah.
I don't really see how they're just gonna pierce through his illusions at this point.
And even has like, if Solo's in a good spot too, they have even more than that.
Exactly.
Make a copy.
The SD illusions are actually super strong.
Vici Gaming will get themselves another Roshan. Aegis and Cheese ready to push with once more.
They can like separate 2 different types of armies, right? They can just use the SD illusions to send it to one of the supports, and then Ramses can focus on the other ones in the fights if they do have information.
Time to buy a Shadow Amulet on Oracle and just sit there in the trees.
He has to make sure he's going to be there to back up Paparazzi. Or, of course, the Death Prophet, as you say. But the way that it's going, someone's going to get Demonic Purge. It's going to be very hard for Vici Gaming to stop that from happening.
Paparazzi's going to try to go for itemization to deal with those PL illusions. He's actually queued up the Mjolnir on the Morphling.
Mjolnir, Morphling. That's a new one.
That is a bit of a different one.
That is, yeah. He's trying to find something, right? Ori, I also saw he queued up a Shiva's. That's more of a natural, standard.
That is very natural.
It's going to make him very tanky in these fights. I mean, still, it's a game where the kills aren't close, but the general pace of it, that was felt and favored for Vici Gaming at the start. It's starting to slip. VP, they're slowing down the game. Ramses PL getting all the items required. No one's going to start catching up as well at this sort of rate.
This is pretty, like for Vici though, they have a bit of a window with this Aegis and Cheese because the Death Prophet we saw, he can survive a lot of that damage. He's not going to get burst down by anything. So if he gets the BKB off, he's going to get that Cheese off in the fights.
I was actually really surprised that they didn't opt to like take the Roshan fight when VG, it was super obvious they were actually killing Roche. That the VP just didn't want anything to do with that. So it's weird.
I'm gonna guess so far, they've got to this point of the game just by hitting creeps, and sort of in their book they'll just continue to do so.
I mean, if it works,
seems like it.
There's only just 5 kills to their name, but 30 minutes in, they're keeping it even with Vici Gaming. Vici Gaming will now go for the smoke play. Down bottom, Pasha is pushing out on his own.
Ah, the army versus the army.
Looks like Paparazzi's army is...
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's sort of losing this, as we'll have a pause here.
Reminds me of TI finals. There's illusions versus illusions, and then an enchantress making more illusions, and then somebody else making more illusions. And that's the thing is still there, right? The the PL or the Morphling turns into, and then the illusions can make they have the ultimate effect of that Phantom Lancer.
Bottom line, the question is Pasha getting out of here? They are very close to the tide. They've seen him in lane. He has got a blink, but he doesn't actually have TP available. So Pasha, unless he's able to find some sort of safe place to hide in the trees, could be in a lot of trouble down on this bottom lane. Vici Gaming with many ways to root him down and catch him.
Let's try.
Let's see. Let's see if Pasha is able to get out of this somehow. He's got the blink, but there the rod comes down straight away. Vici Gaming get on top of the tide. They've got the backup coming in, more than enough to get rid of Pasha. As Pasha will try his best to juke. Roll forward from Fade, controls there, and that's going to be the tide dead for 50. As Vici Gaming, they can start to just shove up this bottom lane, get up to the high ground. I mean, surely if you're Vici Gaming, you've got to soon be looking to try and take more from the base of VP.
This is a good window for them to actually try to force the buyback of the time.
Oh, gets the second adaptive strike on that CP.
Just there already in time. So now there's 2 dead on VP. They do both have buybacks available.
They've got Exorcism, they've got Aegis Cheese. This is go time for Vici.
See, first buyback comes out from Solo. Ramses is going to be there, ready to hold the fort. Starting to try and get these Spirit Lances out. Paparazzi does get a hexed. As we say, he's got the BKB, he's got the Aegis, and he has that backup of the the Oracle behind him. Going again on upon him. Ramses trying to bring him down at least the once, but it's so hard. It's
more like Vici doesn't feel good about it.
Yeah,
the DP is falling low mana already, and she actually needs to use all his spells in these fights.
VP's actually able, even though they lose 2 heroes, they're able to just hold that high ground. Just too scary for Vici to commit forward. They are healing Ori though. He does have the boots to travel, so he can come back if they want to keep that pressure going after he finishes pushing out that top wave. He's near level 22.
I think it's a good timing for him actually. He gets the half talent.
Yeah.
He just suddenly becomes way more tanky.
And I really feel it's been a game where he's just been very hesitant to pop the Exorcism and go. They do certainly respect the defense potential of VP, and Ori, he really is just waiting on that perfect timing to commit with the ultimate. He wants to make sure it's going to be there and he doesn't misuse it. It's top lane though. No one heads in, trying to start some sort of a fight off. He pops the BKB. He has got teammates nearby. Let's see if they can turn. Here comes the backup. Sentry, the Serpent Ward's down. But still, there's a little split up here on VP. Pasha has got the urn upon him, so he cannot get a blink in. DY getting focused by Ramses. He's pushing the Oracle away. They've got the lockdown onto Fade. Nice Fade trying to escape. Swap backs there from the Venge, getting Fade into a better position. And now Ori moving in with the Exorcism. He's ready to try and turn. Another swap, bringing no one back towards Fade and towards DY. They'll root him down with the control. That's going to be no one dead. Roll forward as well onto Pasha. Pasha kicked up and away. Paparazzi waveforms in. There's 2 dead on VP. Pasha in a lot of trouble as well. He'll try his best to force away. They'll continue to chase. Another wave of terror on him. They've got the vision. The blast there from Paparazzi picks up another 3 kills for Vici Gaming. As VP there, it was a bit of a weird way to start the engagement. No one sort of waltzing in.
Ravage?
I don't know.
Ravage is just on cooldown and nobody died.
I saw Ramses was focused firing the Oracle.
He went straight in. Yeah, I was going to say, did the Ravage up? It must have.
He must have whiffed it. He just must have whiffed it. Just clicked it randomly.
As down there into the base, Solo's dead, and Solo doesn't have a buyback. He's dead for 60 seconds.
And they kill buildings so fast with this Venge aura.
Yeah, this should be at least one set of racks, possibly even a second, as the mid lane is open as well. Vici Gaming. They'll take the bottom, move towards the mid. VP, they're going to have heroes back up, but as you said, there's no Ravage for this defense. There's still no Solo for 50 seconds as Vici Gaming just walking into the base, taking 2 sets of racks. With all the tiers he's already gone, they could just open up onto the third lane as well. They're just taking everything here from VP. VP, they have to do something. As mid lane, they'll jump forward onto DY. DY is able to get the false promise off. He's running away the best he can. He's going to be back up by the rest of his team. They'll try and chase him down, but DY will still pop after the ult ends. Swap there from Yang. Gets Fade up to safety. No one. He's committing with a BKB. He's desperate to find some sort of action and will get the kill there. Ramses onto Fade. Onto Yang, sorry. So they do get at least 2 out of this, but VP, they've lost 2 sets of racks.
That is kind of okay for Vici. They kind of just lost their 2 supports in a way, because Earth Spirit is more like an offlaner at this point for them.
Yeah, I mean, they're just outplaying. I mean, VP just not being able to react.
VP's just playing such a slow game here in this game 1.
Yeah.
They didn't look to make any sort of plays in the early stage of the game.
And Ramses is still so far.
I mean, he is. There's definitely the potential for them to still swing it, but it's just an interesting approach for them to, as it really feels like they've decided to just go for the game in this sort of manner. This is their absolute intention, to play as passively as they have up until some sort of peak point where they feel that they can turn up to the fights, go for the pushes, and they'll have this PL that they're very confident will be able to overrun the cause of Vici Gaming. But being now 2 sets of racks down, they're certainly turning up the difficulty for themselves, VP.
And there's the Mjolnir. And he took the waveform attacks targets too, right? So he's gonna be able to waveform and proc that Maelstrom on multiple hits.
Works very nicely. Kind of the same concept as Pangolier, building Maelstroms. But I feel like it's still like, I think the game is just 1 team fight away from VP winning the game. That's just how it feels like to me.
Yeah. As long as they can get their spells off, if they can get the split off, if they get the 2 supports away from that Death Prophet, but
if they can burst down the supports with the Ravage, like the cores are kind of like they're in no man's land after that. Like they have no one backing them up anymore.
I think Dagger will be picked up on Yang, so he's going to have an even better time of finding himself in position to make those swap saves.
And they have the Aether Lens on the Oracle too. Not a protection item for himself though. He still doesn't have some type of glimmer to make sure that he's okay. So if he does get found, he will most likely just die.
Mid lane, no one. He's just picked up a full AC as well for the team. So now, as long as he can stand there on the front lines with Ramses, these 2 cores are very hard to take down. As Ramses will dodge the nuke there from Paparazzi with the Doppel. Keeping the pressure in on the wraparound, though. They'll find themselves an opening onto the Venge. They'll commit with the Shackles. That's going to be Yang dead for 50 seconds. Let's see if they can move it into any more kills, as already Vici Gaming backing off. VP, can they catch anybody? Paparazzi's in the pit. Will be able to zip himself out, though, if he feels under any sort of pressure, and he's already out of there before VP are able to get into the area of the map. 26 seconds and Roshan's up. Surely this sort of 3rd Roshan in the game, this one, VP, they're surely going to contend that one.
They have a ward at least in the mid lane, so at least they have some vision for that Rosh. But Vici, they have this high ground ward right now, watching no one.
Going with the silence. BKB's going to be popped immediately. He'll turn towards Paparazzi. Some static link on static link action by the looks of it. As they'll now separate from one another. Paparazzi down to the low ground. Vici Gaming backing off. They got the BKB charges out of him. But they'll be happy with that one.
But what if you go Aetherlos on Razor and then you kite out the Morphling link and then you keep linking yourself, okay?
See who's got the longer reach with the link.
That is definitely the solution for this game.
If he does that.
Does Aether Lens increase the overall range or just the cast range? I think just the cast range.
I mean, don't ask me. I thought you were the analyst.
Mid lane, Paparazzi's in. He's trying to go for the kill onto Solo. Paparazzi popping the BKB. Silence down to the Shadow Demon. That will be a dead Solo. As Vici Gaming, they'll get that at least a kill around this point where Roshan is respawning.
Any of these type of kills are big for them because they kill this Rosh so fast.
I mean, will VP try for...
I mean, look at the
anything about this?
It's just disappearing. Only Morphling Venge hitting it is just, it's a goner.
Yeah, he still had plus 90, so he was sitting at like 450 damage or something, or 490 damage, and yeah, it's just dead.
And you're right, it's gone.
That's a pressure shard as well.
That's the 3rd roast that Vici Gaming have been able to take this game with VP able to do nothing about it. Now Fade, see if he can find a catch on one of the cores. Gets the silence Ramsey, no one on the high ground, ready to turn. Looks to move into Fade. Fade will be set up into the air. Paparazzi forced the BKB out of no one. Can they see kill Fade up? Fade's able to roll away. Pasha goes for the Ravage, but Ori's already got the BKB out into the middle of the fight. They go Serpent Wars drop down. There'll be a buyback from the Oracle. Morphling step once. We'll see if they can kill him again. Ori with the BKB will find the kill on the Pasha. Pasha buying back immediately on this tide. Ori, the BKB's worn off. In the midst of the fight, Ramses has been silenced, but he's still at full health. Paparazzi turns with the Morphling into the PL. Chases down the Shadow Shaman. Now looks towards Ramses. Ramses doppelgangers away, but they surround him. They kill off the PL. Double kill for Ori. Vici Gaming taking the fight there despite VP using multiple buybacks.
They focused down the supports, but that just allowed Ori to go absolutely berserk in the fight.
Imagine if this fight happened without the Aegis.
Yeah.
Morphling would have just died straight away, and I think VP would have just cleaned this fight.
Now VP, they've got to try and hold on to this final set of racks that they have without a Ravage. Yeah. It's 29-9,
and they've got
12k lead.
Another exorcism because they had that refresher shard too, so immediately up onto that high ground, the Hex.
That's well onto Ramses. Ramses will be defensively disrupted by Solo. They'll turn with the Demonic Purge onto Fade. Fade getting chased down. That's the Earth Spirit gone. They'll get one of the kills. Now they move towards Paparazzi. Paparazzi posts the BKB. He tries to dead. He's fully pretty low. He's got the backup for the False Promise. He'll be kept alive, able to wave form down outside of the base. VP, they'll try and poke at them a little bit more. They'll get the Spirit Lance and the PL army out onto Yang. Paparazzi will of course survive after the False Promise ends. Or he's still with it. Timing left on the Exorcism will turn the Rod of Atos, locking down Ramses, but they're still a little bit careful about how they go back in Vici Gaming, and VP, they still want to pounce back. They'll chase forward onto Ori. Fade tries to turn back with the slow and the silence, but they're on top of the DP. Yang's there with the swap out though, keeping the DP safe. They'll lose Yang. Ori's got to try and get out of here. VP, they're hunting. He will go for the TP. Ori, have they got anywhere to catch it? They have! Roger gets the shackles off in time. They'll catch out the Death Prophet. Ori's going to die as well. VP, they will be able to hold on to that top range racks at least, as the melee racks was actually taken down. They'll get rid of that pesky Venge illusion.
Very thankful for VP that they had Glyph available there. Paparazzi and Ori both just started focusing the racks to try to take it down. They started to back away as soon as Exorcism was going out. VP with a nice little chase out. But they're down to that one single racks left. As Paparazzi 10-0-10 and also finds a courier kill here.
An exceptional fight.
And we are definitely seeing that despite the fact that they're losing racks, there is potential from VP's team fight. Even then, when they don't have the Ravage available, they were still able to turn and get some core kills.
I don't think they're that weak that as they feel in the game. Like, I get the vibe from their play that they just don't really want to take any team fights in this game. But even now, like, they took a fight without Ravage and they actually won the fight. So it's kind of like iffy. I think they, at one point in this game, they actually just have to go for a Hail Mary push and try to finish the game. It's too rough being just one racks, like it's range racks, it doesn't even regenerate anymore. So all the damage you do on it, it's just keeps chipping away.
Yeah. They're trying to get their side lanes pushed out as much as possible right now before Vici respawns, because yeah, Vici could just waltz right back up there and kill it super quickly. If that back door is actually not enabled, they could probably just jump in with the Morph and kill it in like 3 or 4 hits.
Now they'll give Ramses the tome, allows him to hit the level 25, and now has that reduced cooldown on the Doppelganger, so he'll be a lot more slippery in the fights, able to continue to get these illusions out, keep them on top of these sort of heroes that are going to really feel the pain of losing their mana.
He's getting close to Scotty too, so that'll help him so much. Like in these fights, he's actually getting kited a bit by this Morphling, just being able to waveform and not slow him down at all. So being able to apply that slow will be very useful for him versus both the DP and Morph.
He's going to have to wait at least that minute and a half though with that, you know, being his ultimate orb that was lost on the courier.
Yeah, they have to make sure they just keep those side lanes out. You see sending illusions down bottom, the PL, to be able to try to keep bottom pushed out at least. Same thing with the mid lane. But top, Vici's already setting up. They're pushing it forward.
It's a double damage on Ramses.
Now, this could be pretty huge if Vici Gaming do push into this PL.
They've got a ward on the high ground here right now for VP.
Pasha's got the Ravage available. There's the swapping. They're going to go straight in away. Pasha puts the Ravage, but the BKB's already out from Ori and Paparazzi. Pasha will head up to the high ground. Roger will go for the lockdown with the shackles. Ori's BKB's about to wear off. Ramses getting to the back lines. They've managed to pick off the Oracle. Roger gets rooted out. Ori's getting focused. Ramses, he's killing off the Death Prophet. They'll take down Ori. Now we'll turn toward Paparazzi. Ramses getting the Doppelganger off, keeping himself safe and alive. Paparazzi, low mana. Yang, he's the easier kill. They've got the illusions upon him. They'll get the stun up onto Ramses. Ramses got Doppelganger again. Dodges the waveform. Turns around. The Hex is there. The shackles as well. They're looking at Paparazzi. Paparazzi down the mana. Another Doppelganger. Ramses continuing to jump and chase
and Vici Gaming will close up this game one.
That was a bit of a weird game.
I know, yeah.
They felt like they were super weak, but when they were actually able to find these supports in the back lines of the fight, VP were able to take it. But Vici, at this point, they were too far ahead. They just had a little bit too much.
Eventually, this like accumulated too big of a lead for this game, and VPs like they just weren't willing to fight for some reason.
Yeah.
A very, very passive gameplay from VP for the